Obviously I'm disappointed. I wish that, I played better. I think, there's a lot of things where, you can go back, be a tough critic on yourself, judgmental, but at the same time, I mean, you got to bring more to the table than just one thing. Overall, yeah, I wish I would have, shot more efficiently, help alleviate some of the pressure that other guys were facing. But, this is sort of the situation that we're in. And, frankly, had I played better, we probably might be in a little bit of a different spot. So it's definitely going to be a motivating factor for me in this offseason going forward, just because, like a lot of us were just talking about in the locker room, this thing is far from over for us.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Joe. I'm wondering if, in your mind, guys were playing a lot of minutes. It was a heavy workload. Was that fatigue in the overtime period where you guys shot 1 of 12, or was that something else in your mind?
I mean, yeah, you can factor that in for sure. But, I think at the end of the day, I mean, we just didn't get, execute probably when we should have. We didn't necessarily take some of the cleanest looks. I think, early in the overtime period, we got some good looks at it. But I wouldn't necessarily blame it on fatigue. I think it's just, focus, whatever it might be. But I wouldn't necessarily just put it on fatigue. I mean, obviously we did play a lot of minutes, and guys' workload was huge. You're looking at right now, like Kevin playing 53, James 53, Bruce 52. I mean, you get to the seventh game in a series that's already been banging on people this entire time. I think both sides were a little gassed, but that's when you have to step up and make plays, and they obviously made more than us down the stretch.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Joe, when you mentioned, when you mentioned that, you were just talking about the series or this run that you guys could potentially go on is far from over for you all. I'm wondering how quickly that shifted. Steve Nash was talking about how much it hurts, but what was that shift within the locker room of this hurts, but also this is our path forward?
It wasn't necessarily even anything that was spoken. I think it was more individually, like to a man sort of a deal where, we're obviously just appreciative of one another. We had an unbelievable season that, we have every right to be extremely proud of. It's one of those things where everybody in the locker room, we left it all out there, and obviously it's just an unfortunate outcome. But for the group of guys that will be around and coming back, I mean, it's a motivating factor going forward, a motivating factor in the off season. But I think, to a man, it's not like anything was discussed collectively in front of anybody or anything like that. I mean, it's obviously a difficult mood and emotions. Just kind of everybody's taking their own time in terms of how they're dealing with this. But individually, you talk to Steve, you talk to other people. I think a lot of us, and especially me, hoping that I'll be around for a little while. This thing is far from over.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Joe, you look at the past year you guys have had. I mean, a year ago, you're probably getting ready to go into the bubble, short layover into this season. Just how much of a break do you give yourself before thinking about next season, or is your mind already going there?
No, I'm definitely going to take a break. I mean, it's been a pretty difficult year, to say the least, just with everything that's going on. So, I think we all need a little time away and just refresh, get your mind right, get yourself in a good spot where you want to come in, put the work to start building on for next year.
Bruce Beck, NBC New York.
Joe, even with the injuries, did you ever expect to be here tonight talking about the season being over, or did you believe that you were on your way to a title?
You're always optimistic regardless of the circumstances that you're going to be competing for a title, but this is the reality of the matter. This is where we're at now. And, we all wish it was a different outcome, but like I said earlier, to a man, we all left it out there. We have nothing to hang our heads about. I mean, we competed as hard as we could with the guys that we had.
Brian Lewis with The Post.
Hey, Joe. Curious, drilling down on your earlier comments, I'm wondering, for a team that was obviously built kind of chips all in to win a championship and to go out in the second round, do you think that could play a role, going forward in keeping this team together as it is currently constituted, getting some of the bigger names to re-sign and stay here so you can run it back next year?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a question for Sean. I mean, I don't make any decisions like that. I just work here.